all you need. Welcome to Inner Temple, where we explore the sacred interplay of mind, body, and soul. I'm Katerina Milan, your guide on this transformative journey. In this episode, we step boldly into the night, the shadows, the untamed, the unapologetic parts of ourselves that often go unseen. So much of life is spent trying to be perfect, to polish, to present ourselves in ways that feel acceptable. But what about the parts of us that refuse to be tamed? The parts that yearn for freedom, passion, and authenticity? This episode is inspired by a soul collage I created called Running with the Shadows of the Night. It features a bold interplay of contrasts, a poised, powerful woman in motion, vibrant red lips that seem to speak without hesitation, and a stark black and white backdrop that blurs the lines between light and shadow. Together, these images invite us to explore what it means to embrace the wild, untamed aspect of ourselves. Let's begin. We all have shadows, the parts of us that we've been told are too much or not enough, the sides of ourselves we've learned to hide in order to fit in. But those shadows hold so much power. They are the source of our creativity, our passion, our fire. When we embrace them, we reclaim pieces of ourselves that we didn't even realize we'd lost. The collage reflects this perfectly. The woman, bold and in motion, embodies a confidence that comes from stepping into her truth. The red lips symbolize unapologetic self-expression, sensual, daring, and alive. And the black and white checkerboard floor? It reminds me of the duality within us all, the dance between light and shadow that makes us whole. This collage reminds me of a time when I felt disconnected from my wildness, my passion, my truth. I had spent years trying to fit a version of myself that felt safe and acceptable, but it wasn't real. It was like living in black and white, suppressing the vibrant colors of who I truly was. But then came a moment of reckoning, a time when I could no longer deny the parts of myself that I had hidden away. I started to let the shadows in, to explore the edges of who I was. At first, it was terrifying. I was worried that embracing those parts of myself would make me unlovable, too much, or even out of control. But instead, I found a power I didn't know I had, a freedom, a passion, a joy that came from being fully alive. The woman in the collage moving with grace and strength reminds me of that time. She's not running away from the shadows, she's running with them, letting them guide her, fuel her, and bring her back to life. I wrote a poem to go with this collage called Shadows in Motion. In the quiet of the night, where shadows stretch and breathe, I find the parts of me I once dared not believe. A voice that's raw and wild, a fire fierce and bright, a dance of contradictions, the woman and the night. The lips that speak unfiltered, the steps that break the mold. The shadow's song is freedom, a truth both fierce and bold. I run with every whisper, each secret dark and deep, for in the arms of shadow, my soul begins to leap. This poem reflects the liberation that comes from embracing the shadows within. The parts of us that feel wild, untamed, or even messy are not weaknesses. They're the sources of our deepest power and creativity. The red lips in the collage remind me of the courage it takes to speak our truth, even when it feels bold or risky. The checkerboard floor reminds me that life is not just black and white. It's a dance between the two. And the woman, moving with such grace and strength, reminds me that when we embrace our shadows, we don't lose control, we gain wholeness. As you reflect on this episode, I invite you to consider these questions. 1. What parts of yourself have you been hiding, and what might it look like to bring them into light? What parts of yourself have you been hiding, and what might it look like to bring them into the light? 2. What passions, desires, or truths have you been suppressed? and how can you begin to honor them? What passions, desires, or truths have you suppressed, and how can you begin to honor them? And 3, how can you run with your shadows instead of running from them? How can you run with your shadows instead of running from them? Take your time with these reflections. They are invitations to embrace the fullness of who you are. As we close this episode, remember, you are all that you need. The shadows within you are not something to fear. They are something to celebrate. By running with them, you reclaim your power, your passion, your truth. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your reflections. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, or leave a review. It helps others find the inner temple and begin their own journey of self-discovery. And consider sharing this episode with someone who might benefit from its message. Thank you for being here in the inner temple. Until next time, take care of your sacred self. And remember, you are all you need.
Beautiful human being, you give